What if I told you there's an easy way to identify what coverage your opponent is running before the ball is ever snapped in College Football 27? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4-step system that I use to read the defense before every play. Then, I'll take it into an online head-to-head game so you can see exactly how it works against a real opponent. And finally, once you know how to read these defenses, you have to know how to beat them as well. So down below, I've linked multiple other videos on this channel where I show you exactly how to beat different coverages. And in the gameplay of this video, I'm using the Ohio State Offense Gameplan, which you can find on wincollegefootball.com. And to win more, go here. All right, let's read some defense. So just to get this started, this is one of those skills I truly believe it just makes the game so much easier if you put in the time to just learn this quickly. It also just makes you so much better and harder to defend from an offensive perspective as well. I did break this down into 4 easy steps, so by the time you leave this video, you should have a really good general understanding of how to read defense and essentially what your opponent might be running before you even snap the football. Now, a couple of caveats. Number 1, I do realize that people can disguise their coverage in this game, but 90% of the people that you play online, they're not going to disguise their coverage. So this is going to help you tremendously if you're playing most people online. It's going to give you a really unfair advantage in a lot of cases. Number 2, there are a lot of custom adjustments that aren't just coverage shells that also help you disguise your defense this year. So I do want to point that out, and I'll talk about that as we go through these setups. But there are 4 quick steps, right? So step number 1, when we break the huddle, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to count the number of deep safeties our opponent has. So you can see here, our opponent came out with a single high deep safety. That's the one deep safety in the middle of the field. Another look that you might see might be something like this, where they have 2 high deep safeties. Now, I will talk about what you should likely be thinking when you see a single high and a dual high deep safety, but that is the very first thing you need to do when you break the huddle. You need to count the number of safeties because that's going to tell you a lot on how you're going to attack it. All right, now that we know the number of safeties, we're now going to determine whether our opponent is in man or whether they're in zone. So we've got a single high deep safety look. Just for reference, if you guys ever see a single high deep safety look, I want you to be thinking your opponent is either in cover 3 zone or they're in cover 1 man. And yes, again, I know people can disguise their coverages, and I also know that there are some obscure plays out there that show a single high deep safety, but it's actually a different coverage. We're going for the most common result here. But again, most of the time it's going to be cover 3 or it's going to be cover 1. But how do we determine whether it's zone or man? So for that, we're going to use step number 2 of our formula here, and that is to utilize motion. So I came out on a play. This is Bunch X Nasty out of the Ohio State Offensive Playbook, and this is the play motion cross. And what you're going to see here is when I snap the football, my B receiver is going to go on an auto motion from one side of the field to the other. Now, what's great about auto motions, you can also do this without an auto motion play. You can just manually motion somebody. I'll show you that in a second. But if your opponent is in man coverage, for example, here's a cover 1 man, single high deep safety. If they're in man coverage and I snap this football, the man defender on B is going to follow him from one side of the field to the other. If you see somebody follow like that, that's a dead giveaway that they're in man defense. So before the ball is actually hiked there, you know whether they're in man or zone. So if I do the same thing and it's a cover 3 zone defense now, this is not man coverage, and I literally run the same auto motion to B, you're going to see nobody follows him to the other side of the field. Again, if nobody follows, that's a dead giveaway that they're in zone coverage, and we can hit them for a quick zone beater for a touchdown, right? Pretty basic. So this is a really simple way of just saying they're in man, they're in zone. And again, you don't need to have an auto motion on the play. Just for example, I can just put B on a flat route and I could motion him over. Actually, it won't let me motion him because of this play. Let's just go to a different play here. I'll put B on a flat route. We'll motion him over, and you're going to see nobody follows him. They're in zone coverage. I'll do the same thing. I'll motion him back. We'll go to a cover 1 man. And you're going to see if I motion him now to the other side of the formation, somebody will follow him to the other side of the formation, again, being a dead giveaway that they're in man defense. Now I'm going to throw this in as a pro tip. If you are running certain formations, it's going to help you tell whether they're in man or zone without actually utilizing motion. So for example, here I came out in the formation Bunch X Nasty. Again, this is out of the Ohio State Offensive Playbook. But what you're going to see is we are in an unbalanced set. And essentially what that means is we've got more receiving threats on the right side of the field than we do on the left. So for example, our tight end, we actually have 2 tight ends in the set right now, but our tight ends are A, R, B, and then we also have our B receiver to the right side, and then we've got a running back and a wide receiver to the left side. Then if I go to defense here, you're gonna see if we're in zone coverage, I just draw a line right down the middle. Just imagine a line going from the deep safety through the center all the way through our quarterback. You're gonna see that they have the same number of defenders on one side of the field as they do on the other. Now, if I were to go to man coverage, you're going to see that one person moves from one side to the other because we have more receiving threats on the right side. They need to have the same number of defenders over there if they're in man. So if I draw that same line, now we only have 4 defenders on the left of it, and we have 6 defenders on the right of it. Just simply by coming out in certain formations, just like this one, it should give you a really good indication whether they're in man defense or whether they're in zone. Now, step number 3 is not nearly as good this year as it was in the previous years because people are going in and they're setting their cornerback and safety depths manually in their coaching adjustments. But if you don't have somebody that you're playing against using those adjustments, then there are easy ways to even tell which zone or which man coverage your opponent is in. So I'm going to show you how to do it quickly, but again, caveat, this is much more common for people to have set pre-snap. So if we go in here and let's just say go to a dual high deep safety look. Well, 2 high deep safeties could be a lot of different defenses. This could be cover 4, it could be cover 2 man, it could be cover 2, it could be cover 6, it could be cover 9, it could be a lot of different coverages. But we can look at the depth of the cornerbacks to tell us which zone they might be in. So for example here, 2 high deep safeties and our outside corners are playing about 8-7 yards off the line of scrimmage. If you see 2 high deep safeties with cornerbacks playing that far off the line of scrimmage, that's a good indication that those outside corners are either in a deep quarter zone or they're in a deep third zone. And because we have 2 high deep safeties and not a single high deep safety, they can't be in a cover 3. So this is going to be a cover 4 zone defense. Now let's just do a quick hot route or audible here, because now we have a 2 high deep safety look, but our corners have moved up. Right now they're playing about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. If you see 2 high deep safeties and corners playing about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, that likely means your opponent is in a cover 2 zone defense. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show out of this is if we were to go to something like this. Now this again is 2 high deep safeties, but now we've got our corners essentially in a kind of a weird spot, right? So the one on the left still kind of looks like he's in that cover 2 zone, but now we have this corner right here who's actually up pressing our point receiver in the bunch, and then this corner's kind of moved up a little bit too. But what you will see is if somebody's running a cover 2 man, most likely they are also going to press you, and then they'll likely shade underneath as well. So this is likely the look that you're going to get if you see a cover 2 man, right? 2 high deep safeties and man coverage pressed like this. Now the other thing that I want to show you is, let's just show this for example. You now have a single high deep safety, the corners are playing off again, and you've still got this corner up here, right? So single high deep safety, we've got an unbalanced set. If you draw a line down the middle, this is a recollection to the single high deep safety. Is it cover 3 or cover 1? Hint, hint. You should be thinking this is absolutely a cover 1 man defense, okay? So the corners will tell you, the deep safeties will tell you. If you use them together though, they're really gonna help you tell whether they're in man or zone before the ball is even snapped. And again, if they don't have their coverage adjustments set to have manual depths for their safeties and their corners, they're also going to tell you which zone they're in. Now for step number 4, we're going to talk about what you do if your opponent comes out and immediately does this, right? They press their coverage. Well, you might be thinking, well, there's really nothing we can do because we can't look at cornerback depth, but that's not true. There's actually a lot of things you can do. So first, we need to go through all of our other steps. Don't forget the steps. Step number 1, count the number of safeties. We see a single high deep safety here, right? So we're automatically thinking cover 3 or cover 1. Now next, we could either utilize motion or we can do the number count from left to right. Because we have an unbalanced offensive set, if we draw the line right down the middle, we see a number of people on the left, which is 5, and a number of people on the right, which is 5. That means we have an unbalanced set, they have a balanced defense. You guessed it, they're in a cover 3 zone. If I do this same look, right, single high deep safety, and I go ahead and press, and we just literally get to step number 2 in the pro tip, well, we draw that line, they have more people on the right than they do on the left. We already know, single high deep safety, this is cover 1 man. Now this gets a little bit more tricky when we get to a defense that is like this, okay? We have a 2 high deep safety look, but Now, not really sure, right? Because we do have an uneven count, but the uneven count really doesn't apply when you have a dual deep safety look. So what we need to do here is we need to look at the outside corners. So on the left, not really telling us much because he lines up that way every single time, but on the right, you can see on the bunch, this outside corner is way to the outside. Like he's not anywhere near our bunch. If you see an outside corner against a compressed set like this line up way to the outside, that means he's in a deep quarter or he's in a deep third. And because we have a too high deep safety look, we can assume that they're not in a cover 3. So that means because he's in a deep quarter, they're in a cover 4 defense. Okay, let's do this same thing, but now let's go to this look. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and press. Again, corner on the left, not telling us much. We have a too high deep safety look again. And because we have a too high deep safety look, we can't really do the draw the line right down the middle thing. But the outside corner on the right has moved in a little bit, but he's still not like head up on the receiver or that close to the receiver. So that actually is another giveaway in this formation. They're in a cover 2. That outside corner again is telling you he's farther in, but he's not actually manned up on the receiver. If I were to now go to this defense, you can see that outside corner has moved all the way in and he is actually head up on our receiver. So too high deep safeties, he's head up on our receiver. He's in man coverage. This is a cover 2 man defense. So that is how you can tell. Again, this is not as easy to do as it was in previous years, but this is still a dead giveaway, at least giving you the information you need to know to make an educated guess on what your opponent is in before the ball is snapped. Now let's take this into an online head-to-head game. And again, in this gameplay, I'm gonna be using our Ohio State Offensive Gameplan. And if you want access to the scheme with even more unstoppable setups and one-play touchdowns, you can find that on wincollegefootball.com. I'm gonna run a draw play. And he's gonna stiff arm me into the dirt and he's gonna go for 6. Unbelievable. All right, well, we're down 7-0, but at least we don't have to play defense for a long time, so I guess that's fine. All right, so if I'm reading this, I'm thinking this is probably a cover 4. We've got 2 high deep safeties. We got the corners playing pretty far off. I'm just essentially gonna set up something that should just be a quick read. Looking for B or looking for X. Those are kind of the 2 reads I have here. It wasn't a cover 4. Just gonna hit that to the sideline, take our free 7 yards, 8 yards. All right, here, probably cover 4, could be like a cover 6 type of thing. You see the corner on the left is a little bit tighter. So just gonna be prepared for that. Looking for the quick throw to B. Here, that's kind of just the quick read. He's there, they're in match. And again, turning that up the field, another free 10 yards. Just pretty easy read so far. Can't believe he ran at me. And I think we had that read right, so that was good. He wasn't man. All right, here we're just not gonna worry about it too much. We're just gonna hit him with a quick draw play, see if we can just get 6. And we get in. All right, so 7-7, it's a great offensive drive. Get him. No, no. All these broken tackles. I mean, good grief, he's gonna score again on just nonsense. Ugh. So we're just looking for B or X quick. Either one is just fine. Got B again. So essentially, we want him to be more aggressive. That's what we're kind of getting at here. This looks like match defense because we've got cover 4 on the right, it looks like, and a cover 2 on the left. That would be my guess. So we're looking for the quick throw to B. He might be in a hard flat though, we'll see. It wasn't a hard flat. Oh, missed the throw. Just gonna run some goofy combo over here, but whatever. We're looking for X quick. We got him again. He's in a cover 4. Headline. He backed off. Okay. Coverage is very deep. Again, we got him in a cover 3. It's possible we stayed in zone. I think unlikely, but possible. Got our running back, and we're in. All right, tie game. Oh boy, he's got me. I mean, this guy has just got big play after big play after big play. All right, so this is the typical progression of people that you play against with this, because now they're just going, all right, I'm gonna play a super heavy pass defense, and then we're just gonna run the football. See if he just blitzes everybody eventually. The zone, but we'll just take our free yards there. All right, it's either cover 3. Remember, single high deep safety here. We're either thinking cover 3 or it is cover 1 man. Well, it's cover 3, but we'll just take our check down again. All right, good dot. Nice little dot, good drive. I was on conservative with backed off. Oh my God. How do we get beat over the top of a deep half over there? That's insane. Good throw. Yeah. Go, buddy. Go, 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 go. Crib it. Let's go. He blocked. Nobody open here. Running back. I guessed wrong. He threw to the wrong guy, though. 4th down. Let's go. Let's go. Got home. He was hitting his tight end, too. We will, though. We'll score. Let's go. All right. We know he's in man coverage every time he's doing that. Nope. No. How did he find that guy? Thought he was throwing the slant or the drag. Like a cover 3 match. Nice little dot to the halfback. Let's go. First down. Let's go. No. I'm an idiot. Well, didn't make this game easy, did we? Good play by his user. Okay, everybody was just dropping back, apparently. A quick throw. He does. We're going to keep taking that down the field. It's fine. He is. Get out of bounds. Good. We do again. He almost got there, but did not. We almost fumbled it, too. Wow. That would have been a heck of a way to lose this game. Snap it, snap it. Let's go. I guess. No. Okay. All right, overtime. Good. Takes off with Manning. I got to put a spy on the field. Oh my God, he's wide open. It's a shade inside. Just never plays the running back. I've scored so many touchdowns on that play. Just completely alone again. Okay. Let's go. That was a laser. he caught that too. I mean, okay, one stop. Game's over. Come on. God, he just won instantly with inside and leverage and everything. Let's go. Let's go, finally. Oh, finally. All right, GG's, holy, that was a game. That was insane, 65-63, but I guess there's the video for how to read defense. Put up 65 points in it, but wow. And if you like this video, you should check out this video next, where I break down the offense that I ran in this gameplay.